So I started at like age maybe 10, just sat there with the bench grinder, making a horrible little shit.
Your preferred material of choice is metal.
Yes.
I've stood beside you for a few years now at Speed Expo,
Mm-hmm.
and you have these massive swords and these intricate designs.
Mm-hmm.
How did you just get started with metals?
It started like ages ago because my dad had a workshop where he did some car repairs. So we had tiny bit of tools to do metalwork. So I started at like age maybe 10, just sat there with the bench grinder, making a horrible little shit. And it just kind of evolved from there. But in 2014, I think, I made my first like proper prop out of metal. And then I used the tools that I had then. But then I was like, hey, I can just buy new tools and better tools. And then it has snowballed from there, that's for sure.
Yeah, so you have... Okay, I'm just going to guess here, because I know some of the stuff you make. You have some lasers, some engravers. You have, I'd assume, some CNC machines. You have lathes.
I don't actually have CNC machines.
You don't have CNC
No,
machines?
It's all manual machines at my home workshop. But at work, I work with CNC machines all day there. So if I need to make something that requires a CNC machine, I can just ask the boss, like, hey, can I borrow the machine tonight? And he usually says yes, and then I can do that if I really want to. But I haven't actually done that for quite a while. I only have one of the props that I made, one of the big sword, the heaviest one, that I used the CNC machine for, because that was before I had the mill. Yeah. And that would have taken way too long to do by hand.
You also have this really cool sword from Bloodborne with mechanics and everything. So you can actually flip it up.
Yes.
It's heavy.
6.5 kilos.
Yeah, it's one of the weapons that wouldn't be allowed at a con, right?
No, none of the weapons I make is allowed on a convention because they're metal.
Yeah, it's murder weapons. Potential murder weapons.
Yes, you can use them for it, but you shouldn't because murder is illegal.
Yeah. But you're not the boss of people, so...
True.
But is it mostly swords you make?
It's mostly swords, but I have made some axes and some maces, and I'm currently working on a more historical accurate warhammer that was used in medieval times. I've started working on the head on that, just as a small side project because why not?
Yeah.
But I made a few different things, but mostly swords because that's been the thing that I've been looking at. So I want to make this specific sword from this specific video game. So I just pull off pictures of it and just tape it onto a piece of metal and start cutting and take it from there.
Yeah, that's I feel like when you do metalwork and when you do 3D printing, you roughly start with a 3D model of the things you want to make, right? That's in my head. You're telling me, no, just go ham on a piece of metal and you have a sword.
Yeah, you can just go by just whatever you have in your head. Just draw something on a piece of paper or piece of metal and just make something. Or you can be specific, find the 3D model, measure it, make sure everything is correct, and then try to replicate that in metal. But the things that I have done over the past years is I just find a 2D picture of the sword or axe or whatever. I just print it out in full scale. And then I just trace that on the piece of metal and cut it out and then form it from there. So I don't use any 3D models at all. For most of my work, I just have a 2D image, and that's usually what I need to make.
And you just eyeball the depth and everything where you...
I just okay, I have this 4mm plate at home. The sword is going to be 4mm. So that's usually how it goes. But some of the thicker swords, I actually had to somewhat measure the thickness because if it was too thick, I would not be able to lift it at all because plate thickness, when it goes over a certain point, it just gets so damn heavy.
Talking about heavy things, I made one Mjolnir Thor's hammer with my son, and I made one for myself for Love and Thunder with lights and stuff inside.
Yeah.
Both of those are every person can wield them. But you have a hammer that you usually bring to Speed Expo, where people can test their might.
Yeah.
How much does that weigh?
That hammer weighs 32.8 kilos. It's very heavy. And I bought a replica metal hammer from somewhere on eBay. I don't remember where, but there's different people selling them. But that one only weighs like 5 kilos. It's like, nah, it's rubbish. It needs more weight. So I disassembled it, figured out how it was like assembled and everything. I had to strengthen the handle and everything because that would be too weak. Then there's like the hammer shape. It's like a bucket. So I just bought a bunch of lead, melted it down, poured it into the hammer, and just filled it to the brim with lead, and then reassembled everything. So it's very, very heavy.
Yeah, I've seen people, like one of the science areas, like lift it above your head, and you have people like struggling.
Yeah.
And what people don't realize is getting 32 kilos above your head, that's doable. Getting it controlled down, that's hard.
Something else. We had a few people put it down on the floor or table, slightly hard, you could say, just because the weight, when it goes down, it speeds up. You can't.
Once you let it go, it doesn't stop.
Yeah, it wants to go. So we kind of added a new rule now. You're not allowed to lift it over your head because safety reasons.
Yeah.
And of course, people to get hurt.
From there, 30 kilos is also a lot of weight.
Yeah, exactly. And the problem with it is like if you have a dumbbell, the weight is equal on both sides.
Yeah.
But on a hammer, everything is on one side.
Yeah.
So
everything is where you're not holding.
Yeah, exactly. So that makes it way more difficult just because of the off balance of the hammer.
Yeah. But it's really fun. And you, with that hammer, if I'm not remembering wrong here, you collect money for charity or Cosplay Against Cancer.
Yes. Yeah. I usually just let Cosplay Against Cancer borrow the hammer for free. And they take 10 crowns or something for people to try to lift it. And all of that money goes to charity.
Yeah.
For the Cosplay Against Cancer.
Yeah. It's a really nice addition to the Cosplay Against Cancer.
Yeah. So like the cost of making that hammer has like kind of earned itself through those like donations.
Yeah. Like
that's a really nice thing to think about. It's like, yes, I spent money on making the hammer and everything, but like, the hammer has gained more money than I spent making it. And that's a really nice thought.
Make a stupid thing and accidentally create a thing for a foundation to get money in.
Exactly. So I'm probably going to bring it to Spill Expo this year as well.
Yeah, I'll probably be there as well. I hope I'll be there as well.
Hopefully.
I'll like it there. Usually next to you and talk to you and see all the cool stuff you have. You also, I remember you don't only work in metals because you have acrylic sword.
Yes.
With lights, isn't it?
No, it's actually not lights.
It's not lights. It's just neon or.
Yeah, it's the Doomslayer sword from Doom. So it's just an acrylic plate that was like see-through, but then I painted everything red, so it looks like it's
because
like,
it look
because I just got that color right.
Yeah,
somehow I don't know how. It just happened.
In my head, there's light.
So I thought about adding lights in the handle because there is physical room for it. But then I was like, it's a lot of work. It's like, it works.
Yeah, but you fooled me.
Yeah, I mean, it works.
But you also make a lot of fun stuff like coasters and stuff like that to fund your hobby.
Everything costs money.
Yeah, and I think I have this friend that I built this Yaris WRC car, 60% size with, and he does some metalwork. So he buys metals, and that is expensive. Getting it's the thing you don't think about, right? When you do woodworking, you go to Monter, one of those chains, and it's not that expensive. And then you need a piece of walnut or something. And and the same thing I feel like with metal. You have these small sheets, you go to Biltema, buy it. You need this sheet, specialist store, and
So, like the problem with buying metal is in general, you can buy the small stuff, the cheap stuff, the crap stuff at Biltema or Bohus and some of those other stores. But like everything that goes beyond a certain point, you can't buy like from a regular store. So I'm lucky that I work in a mechanical workshop, so we have all of those materials on hand, so I can just buy it from work, because then I get a fair bit cheaper because I just paid whatever we pay to buy it from the manufacturer. So I get it for like half price or something, which is nice. Not complaining.
But still expensive.
Yes, still expensive. So I bought material for coasters a few or 2 months ago. That was a lot. I think it was 15,000 crowns in just raw material, and which I'm then gonna make into coasters.
Yeah. I feel like
So it was a bit of an investment.
yeah.
So I hope I sell good this year.
I feel like the raw costs of the coasters, like not regarding time or machine spent or anything, like just the raw cost of materials is people don't realize how much metals cost.
Yeah.
Because it's a field that not many people need to look into, right? But you're knee deep or maybe neck deep in it.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like for the Warhammer I'm making, I bought like this big chunk of 40 by 40 millimeter just steel.
Yeah.
And it's a specific steel made for hardening. So I can actually quench it in oil to make it like proper what?
Yeah, a murder weapon.
Yeah, which is not going to be used for. And like that just stock of material was like 900 crowns, which is like, it's quite a lot for such a simple little piece.
It's a little bit of metal.
Yeah.
But specialist metal and made for hardening is that's then you're into knife territory. Like that's the same that they use for knives.
Yeah,
and
kind
stuff.
of. It's somewhat of the similar metal, but not quite, because you can't buy those at those specific sizes that I needed.
Very seldom do you need a 40 millimeter thick knife.
Usually you don't. But blacksmith can buy that stock because it's usually cheaper to buy it in a thicker material, and then they just forge it down to the thinness that I actually need. So a lot of blacksmiths buy like round stock because that's the cheapest, because it's easier to manufacture at a big facility. So then they just buy a 30 millimeter round bar or something and then just forge it down to the actual knife shape because it's
into shape.
Cheaper.
Yeah.
But then it also requires the work to hammer it down flat. So if you don't have the proper tools, it's going to take way longer to make something like that. But if you have a power hammer, easy peasy.
Yeah, I see. I've seen a lot of Alex Steele on YouTube, and he has quite a few power hammers, and that makes it a lot easier than having to use a hammer.
Yeah, just having a metal red hot, put it on the power hammer, purchase treadle, and just squish. It looks so much fun. I actually had an opportunity to try a power hammer last year, and I made some Damascus for the friend of mine. And that was so much fun. That was the best day ever.
So you said you started in with your dad in the garage. Do you have any other inspirations, other people you look up to who does this kind of things, or being creative in general?
Yeah, there's a few people. It was like earlier. It was a Baltimore Knife and Sword. They're in the US. They make a lot of different things because they were in a corporation with a YouTube channel called like Amaze Me or Ave Me or something, I don't remember quite. But they make like every kind of fandom weapon in reality. So they made a lot of stuff, and that was a lot of inspiration for some of the things that I make. But there's also like, for example, Stickweed's cosplay, because he's like metal daddy, you could say. He taught me like metal casting, for example, and he's just been an inspiration of everything because he started way earlier than me. So like when I was at the gathering a bunch of years ago, I was able to see one of his costumes in person and actually like feel and touch everything. And it was amazing to actually like see the proper work. That also got me inspired to do everything. So there's a few different people, and also Alex Steele, of course, because he's magnificent in every way. There's a few other YouTubers as well, so I don't remember at the time.
You mentioned casting. Have you done much casting?
Yeah, a lot actually, because I make trophies and I help a bunch of cosplayers with metal props or parts for their costumes.
Yeah.
There's actually at least 2 people here today with their costumes that I've helped with castings. Or no, wait, that's at least 3 people. So I do help a lot of people with that because they need something specific in metal, and I can help with that.
Yeah.
So they just have the master mold made out of clay or foam or something, or maybe not foam, but some hard material that we can use for casting.
Yeah.
They can also use 3D prints. Then we just put it into sand, make a mold, and then heat up the metal and pour it in.
Yeah, I've seen for a lot of 3D print stuff like that. You have the lost wax method of doing this, but you also have the lost PLA way of doing it, where you make a thing out of PLA and then you heat the mold up, and the PLA just disappears or melts out. So like 300 degrees, I assume, will take care of the PLA.
Yeah, usually.
But you will then have layer lines, right? So you usually have to process it first, I assume?
That depends a bit. I haven't tried those methods yet, but I want to try, because then you can make very complex shapes. Because what I do is just sand casting, where you have two like picture frames, which you put together, have your part ends, but then you need to take them apart.
Yeah.
So if your model has like an overhang or something, that's going to catch, and you're not going to get that shape.
Yeah.
So it's very limited to the physical shape of whatever you're casting. But with lost wax casting or lost PLA, you can have whatever shape you want. You can have a human skull, which is like hollow inside, which would be impossible with sand casting.
Yeah.
But you can print it and then put like a kind of slurry around it, fill it with sand, and then you melt out whatever the mold was made out of, and then you can cast
get the negative and then
exactly. So I haven't tried it yet, but I really want to. I just need to figure out what kind of like slurry mix I need to buy.
Yeah.
Because there is some specific different ones that you can buy for specific applications. But I haven't looked into it too much yet, because I mostly do sand casting because it's very fast and very easy, and you can reuse the sand, most of it.
And I also feel like with the molding you do there, you stamp the sand, right?
Yeah.
But with a hollow mold, you can't really stamp the sand. You need to stamp it inside the mold before you put it in the sand. So you need to work in a different way.
Yeah, you kind of have to think 3D when you're making a 3D object.
Yeah.
So if you're making a bowl, for example, you need to like kind of fill the inside of the bowl with sand before you put it into the mold.
Yeah.
The mold. Because if you just put it down, put sand on it, it's gonna crush.
Yeah.
It needs some support on the inside. So yes, you can make a lot of flat parts very easily, but you can also make like curved parts, as long as they have the curve in the right direction.
Not in this spiral shape, but in 2D plane, no worries. So, but it's really fascinating. And my girlfriend wants to try some metal casting of her own. So she has a bunch of tin, which is low
melting point.
Yeah. So that is around 200 or something. I don't know. Something
somewhere between 200 and 300. But you can do it on your cooking stove.
But the main thing with that is that you can use just a silicone mold to cast it in, because that's around 250-ish degrees it can handle.
Because there's some specific silicones that do high temperature. And those ones you can use for tin casting. But if you use just regular silicone, should work, but I think it's better to use the ones that are specifically made for higher temperatures.
I will ask you about that off camera,
just in case.
Yeah, because we have some tin at home, so we want to test some of those castings, and we like to dabble in everything. So it's always fun to have more things in your maker vocabulary.
Yeah, it's like in your toolbox of skills.
Yeah, and we have embroidery, sewing, we have silkeryk, screen printing, we have sublimation, we have 3D printing, we have lasers. So we have almost everything now, and I want to...
Just missing that metal part.
Yeah, because the metal is... When I make things out of 3D printers, it is... It's not permanent, right?
Yeah,
it is
because it's plastic.
It can break. But if you make something out of metal, you make it and intend it to stay. So there's this. Of course, a 3D printed prop will, with care, stay, right? But metal is like you can throw it at a wall and the wall will break.
Yeah.
So it's something permanent about that material.
Yeah, so something that I used to do when making those metal swords and such, I just tested on chopping wood, just literally just splitting wood, and all of them passed the test. So
well, I do that with all my swords as well. So I have to remake them.
Yeah, and like none of mine take any damage from it because it's wood is fairly soft and metal is fairly hard, so they don't really take any damage from it. And also another thing that's very nice with metal is that you can set it on fire because it's metal, so it doesn't really melt.
Yeah.
So we did a photo shoot with Catrix where we just literally poured gasoline on the sword, light it on fire, and just posted. Oh, that looked so damn good.
I might need to steal that photo and have it displayed here.
Yeah,
if I remember to place it correctly. But yeah, I need that photo.
Yeah, no problem. We took a bunch of them.
Because you do a lot of cosplay as well. You have a few very, what is it, creative cosplays, weird. I remember you walking around as a shady guy, trying to peddle cat photos from inside your trench coat.
Yeah.
How did you come up with that?
It was actually from, I think it was a parody animated video of Dark Souls 3, where you walk around in the game and everything, and there's the merchant from Resident Evil 4, and he was like in the game, but like usually like his trench coat is just filled with weapons. But I was like, what if there's something else? What if there's something else than weapons? It's like, cats. Cats. And I don't really know how that idea just spawned. There's like cats. So I just printed out a bunch of cat pictures, just hang it up, and I just walk around like, hey, I want some cats.
It's super awesome. And I have a couple of photos with me in my the art stand gear of your cat photos. That's so fun.
Cat photo.
Oh, cat photo. This is the same cat I have. He is both normal and he is recently bathed or showered. The photos I have. At least he's wet. I don't know what you did. I also want to dig into your brain a little bit. You usually work with a CNC machine and stuff like that, but you also do creative work. And sometimes you do projects for other people.
Yeah.
And then I have a question. What do you do if you hit an art block, a writer's block, if you will? If your brain stops functioning and you don't know how to proceed, what do you do?
I would try to do research of whatever I'm making. It's like, okay, how can I get inspiration for whatever I'm making? It could be a trophy or a sword or just weird-ass casting for someone else. So I just like Google stuff, just find pictures and just see what I can find as inspiration. It's not always easy, that's for sure. Or I can just ask other people, hey, do you have any ideas of this subject or something? So I can also use other people for ideas. That's really helpful because like, even though I've been thinking about this problem for months and I just talked to someone and they have a solution in 5 minutes because they haven't been to the same block as I have.
Yeah.
So that really helps.
Yeah. It helps knowing people that do the stuff you do because they have learned other stuff that you haven't, and you've learned stuff they
exactly.
So sharing information. There's a lot of that's one thing that I hate about certain cultures is the need to gatekeep information. I share freely whatever I learn. People can pick my brain anytime, and I feel that is so important in the maker culture. Share whatever you know because you'll help people. And you don't really gain that much from keeping it to yourself.
No, exactly. So, like, I'm one of the only people, if the only one, within the cosplay community in Norway that actually do metal stuff, like, in general. So I try to explain to everyone what I do, how I did it, and everything. So, like, I don't gatekeep any information. If I found a new technique, I tell everyone about it.
Yeah.
So, like, I want to teach everyone as much my knowledge as possible because why gatekeep it?
Yeah.
There's no reason to do it.
No.
Because also, like, if I would have been scared of, like, everyone knowing the metal craft, but you still need to buy the equipment.
Yeah.
So you need to have a shitload of money to steal my knowledge and make it your own.
And a lot of money and time and everything. Yeah. I usually try to end these talks with a moonshot. Like, do you have dream, a goal, something you want to achieve? What's at the end of the road? Or not necessarily end of the road, but what is something you want to achieve with your craft? It doesn't have to be related to craft either. Do you have any moonshots?
I don't actually think so. I just want to create whatever I fancy at that moment. There's a few projects I want to make. But it's like, it's too difficult. I don't want to start on it yet because it's a difficult project. But eventually, after my skills double after time, I might be able to do those projects that I'm now afraid of because they're too difficult. So in the future, just over time, you just gain more skills.
Yeah.
That's with every craft.
Yeah.
Ever. So just over time, I'm going to be able to be more comfortable with everything I do, even though I'm quite comfortable with all of the metal work that I do now.
Yeah.
I can be more comfortable, especially with difficult tasks.
Make more things, complex mechanisms. Because that's something I want to see from you. More complex mechanisms. Things with locks, springs, everything, and just like, I love that myself. So I want to see stuff from you with that.
Because that's actually the inspiration for making the Treasure Planet map that I have. Because I was in a Turicon with the Bloodborne cleaver, which can physically open and lock. And the judges like the mechanical aspect of it. So then I thought, what else can I make that's mechanical? So then I was like, just picking my brain all over every day for weeks, just trying to figure out how can I make the Treasure Planet map move. And then I just figured out how I can make it move, how the button's gonna work. And then I was like, now I have the map. I need something nice to put it in. So then I had to make a mechanical hand that's spring-loaded that closes whenever you take out the map. So it's like all of those mechanical ideas had to be put into one project. But then I was like, I had a hand, but it needs to be in a treasure chest. So then I had to make a treasure chest with a code lock, with lights and a fog machine, because that's cool. So like all of these mechanical things got put into one project. And the sad part is they stopped the prop competition the year after. So I made all of this effort, making the most amazing prop I have ever built, and there's not a prop competition I can bring it to. So that kind of sucks. So bring back that prop competition, please.
Thank you so much for having this talk with me. And I'll hopefully see you at Speed Expo. At least we'll probably see each other before then, but at least then.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you so much.
No problem.